Okay. All right. So, welcome back, everybody. Hello. This is a podcast. First things first. I want to welcome Sanvi underscore
guys.
Sunbay back to the podcast. He's not on camera for this episode. This is episode 54. Want to welcome him to the studio, as in this is studio number 2 in a producer capacity. So we're gonna start the show off like we used to in Studio 1 with a dad joke. Oh no, what I wanted to say right off the bat was I wanted to apologize to all of the guests out there right now who are watching this and they've wanted to come on for like the last month and I haven't been getting back to you. I've just been procrastinating. It's nothing against you. We're gonna get guests on, but that's my fault. So I wanted to apologize to all the potential future guests out there for the wait. Oh, we're drinking Corona today on the podcast. It's nice to have somebody in the studio. He's fucking smiling like a goofball over there. Yeah, basically picked this producer up off the street and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it for free." No, he's great at what he does, and I'm happy that he's here. Okay, so let's start with our first. Oh, and you know what? Before we start doing our dad jokes too, we're gonna introduce our new mascot. This is Tybalt. She's a wonderful Sphinx cat. She is named after Shane Gillis's cat, of course, who's a great comedian. And there's going to be more pictures to come of her on the page. But basically, we're switching up mascots from the mini
Dog to a
schnauzer,
cat.
from the dog to the cat. So, welcome, Tybalt. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. We got dad jokes here. We're going to start off. We're going to steal. So what I've been doing. Oh, she's attacking my foot. So what I've been doing here, Sanvi, is basically there's these pages that. Have you heard of Doc Talks?
Dog talks, no.
No. There's and that's not the only one, but there's these pages online that, and actually one of the most famous ones in Canada, unfortunately, I believe started in Saskatchewan, so I'm like ashamed of it. Basically, these they're basically just TikTok pages, but I believe that these guys have podcasts as well, but I've never really looked into it. So it must not be a super regular podcast, but they are famous. They're making thousands of dollars off of
From
Facebook,
Saskatchewan.
from the social media sites, right?
Yeah.
So not even maybe from YouTube as well, but they're making thousands of dollars. All they're doing is they're picking a setting. In one in particular, they go out onto a dock at like a lake,
Yeah.
and they don't have the book, but they are essentially reciting jokes. So stealing dad jokes. And I know that a lot of people think that dad jokes are like, they're universal because they're so basic, kind of anybody can use them. And sure, a dad can use them. But when you commercialize it online and you're selling it, like, that is super unethical to me. So I started doing it, but
You're stealing it, then you're selling it.
and you're selling it.
Yeah.
And these are books, like I could go through all their videos I have and it would take a long
so
time.
most of them are comedians, not like professional podcasters.
They're not. Yeah,
Oh.
this guy, the particular guy that I'm thinking of, and his name is slipping my mind, but the Doc Talk guy.
Yeah.
He is a comedian. Yeah. I mean, obviously because he has made $1 million off of the internet now based on just that concept, and he's from Saskatchewan, I think, or it's Alberta. It's close to here. It is Western Canada.
Western Canada.
And just pure plagiarism, pure theft. So, yeah. Why did the scare?
But still, you need to have a good delivery, right, to tell the joke.
You do have to have a good delivery,
But-
but it's not enough of a performance for them to be getting that famous off of it. Call me jealous, call me straight up bitter, but I'm bitter because just delivering the jokes, just reading somebody else's jokes and delivering it.
It's like half of a comedian,
That's
like
not
half
even
talent.
half, man.
Yeah.
Maybe it's maybe it's half. Okay.
Because it's
All right.
all jokes and delivery. And that's
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Okay,
about
so
comedy.
let's. But still, though, it is agreed upon that delivery is important, but still, you can't steal jokes.
Yeah,
that's also agreed upon.
That's also agreed upon.
So this cat is just having a day over here. You were making your first appearance, losing some of my tools already. Okay, so let's get into a couple of these dad jokes here. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. That one's pretty good. Let's move on, though. I think I've told you that one already before, haven't I?
No, I didn't. Let's see. Huh?
Did you hear about the guy who invented lifesavers?
Huh?
They
No?
say he made a mint. Does that mean is the word mint? Does it mean like money? Like meaning if you say he made a mint, does that mean are you saying I made a lot of money? Maybe that's what it means.
Maybe I'm gonna.
Yeah, maybe look up fucking what mint means. So anyway, that's that. That one's shit. I'm putting a big X through that one. Thanks for nothing, Jimmy Nairo on that one. Dad, are you going to take a bath? No, I'm leaving it where it is. I like that one.
Okay, can you say that again?
That one gets a check
I
mark.
missed it.
Dad, are you going to take a bath? No, I'm leaving it right where it is. Like he's not going to move the bathtub? That one's pretty good. Did you hear about the fire in the shoe factory?
No?
They say hundreds of souls died.
Go to her.
That one's, I'll give that one a bigger check mark because that was pretty good. Okay, all right. Enough with the dad jokes, enough with the theft. That's good. Good enough for today. So yeah, everybody, welcome to episode 54 of Canadian Talk with Stephan podcast. This is a podcast where, first off, at the beginning, I try to define what this podcast is each time. And today I have somebody here who maybe I can ask too.
Yeah.
This podcast is basically a show where we sit down and we look at everything that's going on, and we are basically like a human filter. We take in the news, we sit with friends, or we sit by ourselves, which makes it a lot harder, but hopefully I would like to have a person here every time. Like,
Yeah.
I would like to have a producer here on every episode, or a guest if I could. But sometimes I feel like I'm wasting people's time, you know? Like,
but it's more natural this way because
Yeah.
you're actually talking with me. But when
Exactly.
you don't have anyone, it's kind of hard to talk on the camera by yourself.
it is.
You need to be skilled for that. I think
I think you do. But sometimes I feel guilty, like bringing in sometimes like professionals, and this is part of the shtick of the show. Is it's supposed to be natural and improv, but like sometimes I feel a little guilty, bringing like a professional in here, and being
Yeah.
like, "Hey, how's it going?" and just having nothing, you know. Like I've had some professional comedians on here. I've had some academics on here. I feel much more comfortable talking to academics than I do to professional entertainers. Because with professional entertainers, at every moment, their reputation is on the line. With like they have to be
they have
interesting.
to think a lot before
Yeah.
saying something.
Exactly. They have to be interesting. So if I get boring,
Yeah.
it's almost like it's their fault too that the moment is boring, because that's their responsibility. Just like how if we were saying something that's incorrect, it would be the academic's fault if we were saying something that was wrong, kind of, because that's their realm, is being right or wrong.
Yeah.
That is the problem with having professional comedians on and being unprepared. I don't love that aspect of it. So anyway, this podcast is meant to be like your nightly news, like what the nightly news used to be, but a little bit less corrupted, hopefully. And our mascot was about to go and press some buttons on the laptop and potentially ruin the podcast. Just in case she sneaks or tries to jump at it, maybe we should just kind of do. Well, you know what? Fuck it. It's fine.
Nah, she won't do it.
It's fine.
It's alright.
Yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on her. So dude, how you been doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Lately.
School. So just for the audience, so you are 21 years old
Yeah.
and you're in university,
Yeah.
studying in some major, and you can give that away if you want later or whatever. So you're a student, and so tell us about it. How's life going for you?
I don't know, man. It's fucking hard. I wish that we had like longer term breaks at least. After the finals, it was like 8 days or 10 days.
So do you think that the semester should be set up where there's not a 4-month summer break,
Yeah.
but there is 2 months in between each semester?
Yeah, that would be much better, right?
You think that would be better?
But
I
maybe they
I
give
don't know.
winter.
It's because
the-
winter. I think the logic behind it is that winter sucks so much.
Then
So-
don't you think like it should be the other way around? They should give like the summer break term in winter, like 4 months break in winter, because it's hard to move, right? To transport and stuff. So it would be
Yeah.
better than work and go to school on summer. That would
Hey.
be like best.
Hey, I see your point. But I think that you have the reverse logic of what they're actually going for, which is I think that the winter is typically so unproductive that they're trying to stick schooling
right.
in there so that you can do something. When you can't do anything outside, you're going to be trapped inside, you might as well learn. I think that's what's going on there, but I get your point in terms of like ease of, man, it would be nice to just be able to walk to school. But they do have summer classes though, you know?
Yeah.
So, but they say that they're not as good. I've
Yeah.
heard that they're more expensive.
More expensive. Also, there's not all courses are not available.
Yeah.
Like the mid profs.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're basically just like you're a ripe pineapple. You're a 21-year-old person. So you're a little bit behind on your schooling though, right? Because you're on year 2.
Yeah, I'm on year 2.
Year 2, and you're 21 already.
Yeah.
And when do you turn 22?
April 16th.
April 16th.
This
You know,
month.
I think that's a young person thing. When somebody asks you, "Hey, when do you turn a certain thing?" You don't say, "Oh, in April." You say April 16th. I think that's a young person thing
What?
because your birthdays, as you get older, your birthdays start to matter less and less.
Yeah.
And because
So
of like
after 50
fraud.
you'll be like, okay, it's in 2023.
Yeah, I think my birthday's this year. I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like sometimes people don't like to give out their birthday either because like you could get like your identity stolen. So basically, I've just gotten your identity stolen.
No, one birthday can't do anything.
No,
You
hopefully
need other
not.
stuff.
Honestly,
Yeah.
hopefully not. Hopefully, I don't see another Sanvi online like next week.
I've never seen another Sanvi in my life. Like you have heard people named Stephan, right?
Very rare. My name is rare as well, but
Right.
I have met lots of people named Stephen and a couple of people who are actually Stephan. So
Oh yeah, I used to call you. I thought your name is Stephan too.
yeah.
Are you-
And people think it's Stephan. People think it's all kinds of stuff. But yeah, sorry, you were saying that you've never. So yeah, my name. I have seen people who have it, and you say that you've never had
Never.
anybody have your name before.
Never have
It's crazy.
have
You
it.
should Google Sanvi and see what comes up.
No, it comes up so bad.
Your photos?
No, it not.
Oh, a
not
bunch
my
of Indian
photos.
guys, just like, oh, hello.
No, but the name Sanvi means basically means like the goddess of sex,
No way.
the goddess of seduction.
But it's not the god. It's
Goddess,
goddess.
yeah, it's-
so it's like a
it's-
female.
I don't
metaphor.
know who.
Shit, dude. Well, that's fine though, because I mean, honestly, dude, would there ever be a god of sex? I think that women. Dude, we found ourselves a good topic here.
Yeah.
Let me go on this one for a moment. I think that when it comes to sex, the whole realm of sex, I think it is controlled by
By
women.
women.
I don't
I
think there
totally agree with you on this.
it
one.
is a matriarchy.
And it's been going since the like ancient times. You know Aphrodite?
Aphrodite, yeah.
Aphrodite, yeah. So Aphrodite was god of fertility.
Yes.
Goddess of fertility. So
Yes.
it kind of goes. Like,
Oh, it goes hand in hand. There's
hand in
another
hand.
one. There's another one that has to do with reproduction.
Yeah.
That's a woman.
That's the
And
woman.
I think they get it right. In a lot of that
mythology,
they get the genders right.
they get
You
that
know what I
all
mean?
the time.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You should see though. Sorry, I'm making you search a lot
Yeah.
of things, but it's nice to have it. You should see if there is a god of sex. Like if they're in Greek mythology, god of sex. See if anything comes up. So while he's doing that, I want to take a gander at my list. I know that one thing I wanted to bring up on the pod that is kind of current events and hilarious is, if you haven't seen it already, go and check the video out of, like, you know me, I love MMA, but this is really unfortunate for the realm of MMA. Dana White was caught on video in public smacking his wife on the face. She hit him first, but then he hit her. So that's like public violence against women by the president and billionaire owner of UFC. Isn't that crazy? That happened like last week. So what came up with the god of sex for men?
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite. See, so there isn't even a male one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You should see. No. I'm sure that it's. I bet you that all of those mythological things start to get pretty fucking sexist pretty quick. You know?
Yeah.
Because like it's fine to be sexist against men, being like, you have no control over sex. Like, but when it comes to telling women that they have no control over a certain realm of life, I'm not sure if that would go as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or then all of a sudden you're misogynist. You can only do that to men. You can't do that to women. Tell them what they can't do. You know? Even when you say the most obvious things, like let's say policing, like, or being a security guard, things that are obviously better if you're a man.
Yeah.
You still can't say that. It's fucking crazy, you know? So, anyway, back to the... So, we'll get off the topic of misogyny, because we all know that I'm a misogynist, so...
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't really care. By today's standards, honestly, I see a misogynist as not even that big of a deal. Have you, the leader of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, he's an actor, what's his name? Starts with a C. Not George Clooney, but he's older than him. He's a toxic masculinist. That video that's on my fucking... Dude, there are so many great toxic men by today's standards from, like, 30 years ago, before they got fully canceled, right? Like, have you ever seen this one video on my thing? It's right here. It's an old Tonight Show interview with... And the guy... This one right here. Shelley Winters dumps her drink. Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed is his name. He's a British.
Yeah.
And he is a comedian. And he's an actor. And dude, he was saying some... If you haven't seen that video from my thing, go check it out. It's from July 30th. That's right on my Facebook page. It's fucking crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, he basically was just saying that he wants basically the same kind of stuff as Andrew Tate, but like 30 years ago. Just basically saying he believes in men taking care of women, like he believes in men and women complementing each other with their
presence,
with their presence, and with their strengths. Yeah. And it just goes off, dude. This lady, it goes bad, and all he's doing is just saying that he loves women. It's like nowadays, if you say that you want to go an above and beyond for a woman, like put your jacket down in the street in a puddle or help her with her yard work, that's misogyny. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I don't know though. Maybe it's good. And you know, me and some other people that I know have debated this at length as well. Whether it's a good thing, if we move towards gender neutrality, is it a good thing or not? Like, you know, that's like the whole theory of aliens, right? Like, with everybody, whenever you get to talking about aliens, you always inevitably come to this area where they're gender neutral, right? Like, they don't...
Yeah.
So, am I being a relic when I talk about gender as if it's something that's important? Maybe I am. You know? I guess only time will tell, but... I mean... I wonder what the marriage rate is at nowadays compared to what it used to be at. People always say, oh, divorces happen more than 50% of the time.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's still like that, you know?
Divorce rate in the U.S. or in North America?
I don't know. Yeah, it's not worth a look up or anything. Just I wonder if it's on the upswing or the downswing.
Yeah.
Divorce rate.
I think it's on the upswing.
It's getting worse.
I
agree with you probably. Okay, so yeah, we talked about the Dana White hitting his wife thing. Do you have you seen the video?
No.
You should watch the video. You can watch it on air right now, just without audio. Google it and then just tell me what you think of that. So another thing. Congratulations to everybody out there. I want to say, we are once again. I think we won last year too. We are maintaining the title of the World Junior Champions of Hockey, IIHF.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations to every one of you for this great country.
Connor Bedard.
Connor Bedard, thank you very much. The 17-year-old fucking wizard. With a wonderful shot, man. What a good snapshot that kid has. God. It's truly amazing. If you haven't seen the clips out there, folks, of him taking snapshots, there's snapshots, yeah. Go out there and check it out. He has some amazing clips of him just sniping with ease. It's insane. So yeah, we won Team Canada. We won IIHF gold again this year in pretty easy fashion. One thing that I heard about this year that people apparently actually did the research on, which was interesting, is apparently the United States has 550,000 registered minor hockey players. Canada has 515,000. And then Sweden and some of these other bigger European places are around the 100,000 mark. Russia is around the 200,000 mark. And then they were talking about how Switzerland has only roughly 15,000 registered minor hockey players, and they're able to compete at the IIHF.
Yeah,
You know,
there are
So,
more talent.
that's what they're trying to say, you know. And I'm actually going to argue against that. So it could be the obvious thing would be to say, oh, they're just more talented, that they can, they must have a better program.
Yeah, must have a better training.
But I
and
think
stuff.
that is fundamentally not right. I think that is misunderstanding how hard it is to actually win. So, like, in the game of hockey, there's a lot of luck involved. Even if a team is 4 times as good as another team, it is still tough for them to beat that team 3-1.
Yeah.
So that is a part of that ignorance going on there. Also, if you have a bunch of kids who are trying to make it to the top, there is still only one team. So a bunch of kids that are really good, like we could probably put together 10 teams that could beat almost everybody.
Yeah.
But those kids that are on those other 9 teams that didn't quite make it, they get looked over as if they're nothing. I don't like that, because I feel that I am one of those people. Like, so that's not, I don't think it's a fair comparison. Just because if you're going to make a team that's the best of the best, you need to have tons of people who are almost the best of the best, but not quite. So that, I don't like that. I don't like those comparisons of people were saying that Switzerland had a better program. And I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I was watching an interview of some administrators at a pretty high level, and they were talking about how they thought that Switzerland and Sweden must have a better hockey program than Canada.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's-
fuck that. So anyway, that pissed me off, and I imagine it would out there, any of you Canadian Talk listeners, of course, because we are in the same world. So let me look at my list again. Oh, I wanted to talk about Kill Tony for a quick second. Francisco Rincon, I'm going to be reaching out to you to come on an episode upcoming here. I thought your set was absolutely amazing. Everybody was laughing, like hating you, but I thought you did really good. I'm going to get at you on Instagram, as well as Michael Mondragon. We're going to also have one other Kill Tony guest that we're going to be having on is Swiggy. Any of you out there who've seen Swiggy, I've also got him lined up. So we got some cool Kill Tony guests coming on, and that's a show. It's basically a comedy show that I watch, and then I get younger comedians off there, and I get them on here and interview them, and we talk about the show, and basically just so that we're allowed to use the clips from the show. That's the reason that we do that. But I also want to learn from these people. So what else do we got going on here? Don't even know what that means. Ali Sharp, Jamie Foxx, explanation. Oh yeah, this was like a comedy thing that I wanted to talk about that I don't think is general knowledge, but let's do some dad jokes before we continue into some more fundamental like comedy shit. Let's check what time are we at? Do you have a time for us?
Yeah, it's 1:47.
On the recording software, it should say basically a time. If you look at Audacity.
Yeah.
Although that is not, we may not be using Audacity, we may or may not. That is only alleged that software is being used, unlicensed. We are using some sort of other software. So check the software and see at the top. See how the waveform is moving. Is there a time at the top?
Yeah, it's 34 minutes 23.
34 minutes. Oh, but you know what? We were recording before we started. We haven't been talking for 34 minutes, have we?
Yeah.
We've probably been talking for maybe 20 minutes.
No, not
even 20?
No, it's more than 20.
More than 20?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's hit a couple dad jokes, and then let's get back into some things.
Yeah.
And I also want to. I'm gonna do a segment where we're about halfway through. I'm gonna swing it over to you. I'm gonna ask you like, hey, what topic are we gonna talk about from your mind? What do you think is the most important topic to talk about for a little while? We'll talk about it for a little while after we do the dad jokes. After I talk for my next thing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's a new segment. It's Sunvi thinks. No, it's producer problems. It's producer problems. Okay. All right, Sanvi. Okay, so you get that one teed up. Okay. Dude, I'm getting so into exercising. I worked out so hard. Oh, fuck, I fucked it up. Okay, wait. Yeah, I worked out so hard last week. The police put me in jail. I was charged with resisting arrest.
Oh, fuck, good one. That's a good one.
That one's pretty good. Although, one's
It's
hard
more
to
like
deliver.
a pun, not a joke.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that one a little. That one was all right. It wasn't a full check mark worthy. Yeah, I like this one a lot. These are the types of ones that make me angry because this is good shit, and you shouldn't be allowed to steal this. Why can't you have a nose that's 12 inches long?
Because it looks ugly.
Because it looks like. Then it would be a foot.
Oh! Who comes up with these?
That is a good one. That one is a good one. Okay, moving on. Did you hear about the calendar thief?
No?
He got 12 months.
Oh, in jail.
Alrighty then. That one I didn't like.
Is that book like one person or like how
This
many
is one
people
guy,
wrote it?
a guy named Jimmy Nairo. The thing is though, dude,
And is
by
it
the way,
like what's the
It's called
what's
dad
the proof
jokes.
that he didn't steal it from somewhere
precisely. That's a good question. I was just about to branch into that even if you hadn't asked that. Thank you, sir. I was going to say that there is a high percentage chance that he himself hijacked a lot of these jokes to make this book. So I want
That's
the
pretty obvious.
listeners to know that as I do this, right, and I give a little bit of credit to this fella or whatever, he is also not innocent. I haven't done research to the point where I'm like, okay, let's get a dad jokes are all original and verified original. I haven't done that with this book. But it's published by sourcebooks.com. It's real, so that's what I'm going with. And at least, anyway. So, yeah. That digressed. Digressed heavy. It's because perjury, anytime you talk about breaking the law, it's very easy to digress because nobody likes to talk about stuff in that way. They never want to, taking responsibility, taking blame. When it actually comes to the time where it's time to get prosecuted, it's time to pay the piper. People don't like that. They like fun and games. They like forgiveness. They like, we learn from our mistakes. The whole it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission thing is man, that is central in white culture. Central in white culture. And I think that's part of the whole institutional racism thing. It's part of the argument for that, I think. Yeah. So, I was going to talk about something, little fun fact if people don't know about there. A little comedy fun fact. This is stuff out there that isn't fucking... Now, this is what you call not being a hack. Okay, Sanvi?
Okay.
Actually knowing stuff about comedy, commenting on it, talking about it, giving my opinion. Not stealing a fucking dad joke. So, basically, have you heard of Jamie Foxx? Obviously, the huge celebrity. He's
Jamie
into
Foxx.
music. He also does stand-up comedy, but he's famous. Did you know? So he started getting famous before black dudes were really getting that famous. There was like Michael Jackson. They were like sideshows. He was like the first one that was this taken seriously actor. Him, Morgan Freeman, a couple of those guys. But he's early on in his success in the racism intersection and it being gone now, racism.
Yeah.
So you want to know the trick that he attributes all of his success to in starting his stand-up career, and then which branched into making some money, branched into a music career, branched into acting, and so on. He attributes it to changing his name to a woman's name. Jamie Foxx's name is not, and you don't have to. You're chill. I don't want you do important searches when you need to do when you need to do a little bit of reading, but I'm chill to do searches on here, no problem. Like Jamie Foxx's real name. Oh, it came up without me even out. Eric Marlon Bishop. His name is Eric Bishop.
So Jamie Foxx is like stage name.
He changed his name to a unisex. Tibble, be nice to our producer. our mascot's attacking our producer, folks. He changed his name to a unisex name or a feminine sounding name because he thought. Feel free to toss her away if she's bothering you. Just grab her by the belly and toss her or flick her. Sorry, folks. Back on topic. He changed his name to a feminine sounding name.
She likes to sit on.
She likes to eat, hey?
Yeah.
Because there was less female comics, it would get him chosen to go on stage at open mics in places where open mics are really competitive, like New York and LA.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm gonna make them think I'm a woman until I walk up there. Then they can't tell me to go away because they were like, oh, we thought you were a woman. He got away with that, and he thinks that was what got him. That was how he made his mark on the industry. Isn't that pretty fucking crazy? And then on Kill Tony, just to expand that story one step further, Ali Sharp was a guy I saw on Kill Tony last week. He said the same thing. He used the same trick, and it got him up on Kill Tony because they thought he was a girl. So
And he turned up as a man.
A boy, but he got his 1 minute spot anyway, and he got his interview. But that was why I put that on my list. So, this next thing was I was going to talk about porn stars a little bit, but I don't know if I'm in the mood to talk about that right now. Really, isn't it crazy that porn star is a job? Like that, there's people out there
Having sex and getting paid.
who do that. Yeah, they're actors.
Uh-huh.
But they have sex on camera. That's what they do. I try to process it, man, in not too stoned of a way, but in a real way where it's like, can you imagine if you were one of them? Wouldn't that be terrifying?
Like fucking in front of the camera?
Yeah, so you would know that there's videos out there online of people, and then just the idea of not being selfish about it and being like, oh, I'm on there because I'm hot and awesome.
Yeah.
Like the idea of thinking that there's people out there who they use your thing for maybe that'll make her go away from you if I point the heat this way. They have videos out there that are meant for people to masturbate to. That is so crazy in my mind because masturbation is such a taboo thing. Nobody
talks about it.
Nobody talks about it. Just like what this connects to what we were talking about before with how nobody wants to take punishment. Nobody talks about punishment. Nobody talks about pornography.
But everyone watches it.
But it's super important.
Yeah.
So that is so crazy, man. That there's people with that job, and
I think it's a big market. They caught a big market there.
It's a huge market. Yeah, it's a huge market.
Some horny guys and girls.
And
you know something? I just figured out a few days back.
Tell me.
The most searched category in porn worldwide. You know what it is?
I did know this. Let me take a couple guesses. Okay? MILF.
No.
I've got other guesses, but I don't know for sure. Globally, which one is it?
It's lesbian porn.
Lesbian, okay.
But it doesn't make sense. Like, there's guys who like to watch.
I was about to say girl on girl. That was actually going to be my next guess. So
but there are more guys like searching up that.
That's crazy.
Cause
it's pretty nice stuff.
It said like some guys don't want to see other guys' penises.
Yeah, so they just watch girl on girl.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, when I was like, if I'm going to be honest, I had a phase when I was like, maybe when I first started, like maybe like 12, 13, where that was up in my roster.
Yeah.
You know? I'd say it's changed a little bit, but I understand. I think I understand. The breakdown that I saw of most searched words on the internet porn was, I saw a breakdown by state in the United States. Dude, that was pretty funny to see the different things that the different states search the most.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Actually, I'll pull it up for you right now. If I was to say most searched porn word by state. Pornhub releases the top searches per state during election week. It should be a photo here. I can actually go to the images too, but I'm just going to pull this up because then I can have you look at it and it's really funny.
I've seen it, I think.
You've seen it?
On the northern side,
but there is like a map. There's a map of images where it shows it. Oh, here it is right here. That one's 2017. This one is recent. Ebony black. See, like, look at.
The whole west side is basically lesbian.
All the west coast is just lesbian. It's just a bunch of strong women. You know, a bunch of liberal women.
Right at the top, a little bit of stepmom.
Yeah.
Like at Seattle.
And that's in that top
Washington.
right. Top right, right?
Yeah.
Up in the
top left. It's
yeah.
Washington.
Up there in those more fucking like how would I describe that? Yeah, those are like as it starts getting colder because you go north, you have tighter white families. So they're like they have angst towards their mom. Maybe they have broken family, so they start searching up that shit. That's so funny.
Fuck,
man.
A little beside that,
Yeah.
like Montana.
Yeah. What else do we got? What is Montana's?
And it's stepsister.
Stepsister. See, there you go. Pittman, the professor. So he's from episode 8 and 15. He's from Montana. So I guess you like stepsister porn, buddy. We're gonna have to come on next time and we're gonna talk about this addiction of yours because the map just told me. So now I'm gonna overlay that onto you.
Dude, if it was like Pakistan and Bangladesh,
What do you think would come up in Pakistan and Bangladesh?
Cousins.
Cousin porn?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh my god. And with that, I think we are gonna get close to winding down this episode, you guys. Let's not yet. But
It's on for 46 minutes. We could go an hour.
Yeah. So as we start to wind down, we'll see what kind of things come to mind here. We'll hop back over to the list. So, Sanvi, if we could talk about one thing that's going on in the world of a 21, may I say a smart 21-year-old student from another land, you're traveling to new worlds.
Yeah.
The whole world is right now, it's at your toes. You're just starting right now. If I was to ask you what is the number one thing that you're thinking about right now, what would it be?
About the world?
About the world. Something that you'd want to talk about and have the people out there comment on, give us some advice with, give you some advice, give us some advice. What is going on in a 21-year-old's mind in today's day and age after we just had 2 to 3 years of COVID? So you're basically an 18-year-old. You're 19, 18 socially, technically. You were in your best years, 18 to 21. You had the government telling you couldn't leave your house. But, not COVID-centric, but this is your life. You're a 21-year-old person. I got those years. COVID happened in a perfect time for me. I had houses already. There was the COVID money that they were giving away.
Just smoking weed all day in the house.
It was a good time. It was a good time. I was established. I went through my youth. So I didn't mind having those couple of years taken from me. But for a guy like you, with the way the world is now, and with the way... by the way, I'm giving this a lot of preface. I'm just trying to load you up. And with the way that women are, and feminism, and with the way that we just had Donald Trump as a president of arguably the most powerful country in the world. He is a reality TV star, but so was Ronald Reagan, right? Yeah. Ronald Reagan was also a president, and he was on a commercial for like yogurt or whatever. Have you ever heard of Ronald Reagan's commercial?
No.
He is an actor. So Donald Trump is not a first. I want people to know that, if you didn't know that, folks. But he is a first in the sense that he is the first billionaire.
And comedian.
And a bit of a comedian, yeah, but he's the first billionaire. But they're all characters. They're just, their personalities, previous presidents, their personalities and their charisma wouldn't be as well documented on video because probably of technology. I would blame technology. You know what I mean? Like you hear stories about presidents, like you hear about Andrew Jackson or Madison, or you hear about, who's that other guy? I mean, obviously, not like the Lincolns, not the early ones, because those are just British guys.
Yeah.
Those are just guys that Britain sent over to rule, just to start getting the United States figured out. Before you guys, United States, before you guys had independence from Britain. You always hear stories about their charisma, legends, but it's not documented. There's no video. Dude, it's funny to look through presidents, and then like right around 1870, all of a sudden there's just drawings of the presidents. There's no photos.
There's no
photos.
photos.
There is a drawing of this man. We have nothing else but a drawing?
They weren't just as interesting, I guess.
Imagine if you were so covert that you lived to be a president, but there is nothing but a drawing of you.
Yeah.
That would be wild. Yet then for us, our kids are going to be seeing hard drives full of us on camera, or us talking, or our social medias with thousands of pictures. You know? It's wild how different it is.
And
So
those poor dudes just had a drawing to
Yeah.
like recognize them.
yeah. So all of that being considered, how do you feel as a 21-year-old? Do you feel secure? Do you feel happy?
Nah,
No? You
I-
feel anxious.
anxious.
And is it
yeah.
because the world feels not stable to you? Is that what it
Yeah.
feels like? Or what does it feel like?
It feels like it gets harder with every new year. Like when I'm 21, I was better off. I used to think while I was 20, I thought it wasn't that bad. It was really bad, but now I think it wasn't that bad. Then before I would think like 2019 was better. So it gets worse and worse. I think it's something to do with age and moving out and stuff.
Something to do with AIDS.
Age, not age.
So how did you contract that? No, I'm just
How is
kidding.
it possible?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He said age, not AIDS, folks. Okay, so one other interesting thought I wanted to just bring up. Folks out there, you know, if you want to have a good feeling, just go out to the store and buy yourself like a pack of Band-Aids. Have you ever been in like a situation, like if you want to feel like an adult, like if you're feeling like just get your friends in a situation where one of them are going to need a Band-Aid and be the guy who has Band-Aids, and you get to feel like the king for just a moment. It's honestly, in the past little while, it's probably one of my favorite feelings I've had.
Having a Band-Aid?
Being that Band-Aid man. Just being that guy who's like, oh, damn it, dude, now I can't play video games. My fucking hand's bleeding. Hey, man, no, I got them heavy stick Band-Aids, man. It'll seal that shit right up. And then you just feel like you saved the day. You feel like you're fucking a doctor of
I
first
just
aid.
gave a guy Band-Aid.
I just saved your life, dude. I stopped your body from leaking. So anyway, if I have any advice for you folks out there, it would be buy a pack of Band-Aids. And
You think you'll never need it, but you will.
you think you'll never need it, but then all of a sudden you get to feel like a king for a second. Go out for a walk, buy a hairless cat, name it Tybalt. Watch more podcasts, watch more episodes of this podcast. Keep your mind occupied, because we're all fighting this modern day depression era where we're all living in our phones. So we all got to stick together.
Yeah.
We all got to stick together, keep each other company. The crazy people, whether they be liberal or conservative, once you start to see them be crazy, you see a little bit of it. You think you're sound. If you see a little bit of an ounce of schizophrenia in a person, they're like, fuck. If they start thinking, oh, the world is out to get them,
Yeah.
like some of their ideas, if they start leaning over to the right or leaning over to the left and they think that there's people out to get them, and that's a little bit of that schizophrenia starts sprinkling over their personality. Stop talking to them. Stop rewarding that type of behavior, politically, emotionally. You know, keep everything chill. Politics doesn't matter. It's all about chilling. Okay? And that's the message for episode 54 of Canadian Talk. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for Corona. Thanks to Tybalt for being the new mascot.
Hey.
Thanks to Sanvi for subbing in and being a producer today. And happy 2023. We're in a new year. Canadian Talk out. Say goodbye, Tybalt. See you later, everybody. All right. So now we can so to shut it off, what you do is you be very careful. Don't press the wrong button. Press that stop button. Okay.
Here.
Find your mouse.
Here.
You found your mouse?
Yeah.
And then press
Stop.
Press the stop button up here.
Here. This one.
Tap it.
Canadian Talk.
Thanks for listening, and any questions or concerns for the show, as well as voice recordings and voice messages that you'd like us to listen to, or advertisement inquiries, please forward those along to CanadianTalkWithStephan@gmail.com. Thanks. We also have a website, Stephanjackson.ca, where you can find a back catalog of all our episodes, and we're also on YouTube, where you can find the video versions.